Everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we're going to make a pantry recipe. I put the call out on Facebook, Instagram, and my YouTube community page. Asked you guys if you wanted to see some pantry recipes because the world is really in an unknown place right now, and maybe we all need a little boost and a little help and a little encouragement. The response was overwhelming. Yes, you want to see pantry recipes, so today that's what I have for you. And this one is right out of my mom's recipe box. This is her tuna casserole recipe, circa 1975, and it's great, it's easy, it's cheap, and it's delicious. And I can't wait to show you how this all comes together. To be making my mom's version of tuna casserole. Now it's a little bit different, but it's what I grew up eating and it's my dad's favorite, and this is what I make for him when I make freezer meals. And actually I've made it for the family a couple of times after never having made it for them, and both my girls say they like it a little bit better than the original version that I used to make, or still do occasionally with the egg noodles and all of that. We're making this today because I asked you guys on Instagram, Facebook, and on my YouTube community page if you would be interested in seeing some pantry meals, because let's face it, the world is upside down right now. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and we all need to be prepared. And I'm going to be sharing with you some videos in upcoming days about stocking a pantry, about expiration dates, about use by dates, about how we're going to be sharing a lot of different pantry recipes, and this one totally qualifies. We're only using a couple of things that are out of the refrigerator, and I do consider it the refrigerator, the pantry. We're not talking about, you know, no power, no water situation. We're talking about economic inflation, hyperinflation, whatever you want to call it. We don't know what's coming. So this recipe is my mom's tuna casserole. It starts off with 1 box of prepared macaroni and cheese. So you're going to get your favorite macaroni and cheese in the box, whether it's the blue box or the store brand, and you're going to prepare it according to the box directions. I prefer the thick and creamy version of either the Kraft or, believe it or not, the Great Value brand from Walmart, because you cannot beat a box of macaroni and cheese for 37 cents, which is what it is right now. Even if it's 50 cents, it's worth it, and it's good quality. So I just prepared this according to the box. It's still piping hot. We're going to add to this 1 can of cream and mushroom soup. Yes, absolutely. I don't always use this, but I do sometimes, and this is one of the recipes I use it in. Cream and mushroom soup, 1 regular can. I have 1 large can of mushroom stems and pieces. You can leave this out if you are not a fan of the mushrooms. That's fine. Additionally, if you don't like cream of mushroom soup, you can use cream of celery, cream of onion, cream of chicken, whatever floats your boat if you're not a fan of mushrooms. My mom always put sliced black olives. It was my job to slice the black olives because we would always open a regular can of olives and we would use about half of it and chop it up. The rest of it, you know what we did. We put it on our fingers and we ate it because that's what you do when you're a kid. So this is just 1 small can of sliced ripe olives, 2 cans of your preferred type of tuna. I like to use albacore. You can use whatever you like. This has been drained very well. We're going to add a cup of shredded cheddar cheese, and on top we're going to put a cup of crushed potato chips. This is a really great way to use up potato chips that have gone a little south, and maybe you've got the end of a bag and you end up with the crumbs. This is a really great way to use them. If you don't have potato chips, and if we're really looking at a hard situation, you can use buttered breadcrumb on top of this and it will be great. Even cornflakes mixed with a little bit of butter on top would be great as well. So we're just gonna mix this all up and it's gonna be delicious. Okay, so to our prepared macaroni and cheese, and look, you guys, I figured I didn't need to show you me cooking the macaroni and cheese because everybody's done this. We're gonna add the can of mushroom soup, delightful, our olives, our mushrooms, and like I said, a small can of mushrooms would work as well if that's what you have, but I only have the big ones. And then I like to just take my fork in here and break this up a little because this albacore tuna is like a steak, and then just pop your tuna right on in there. Now I'm going to put about half of this cheese and save the rest for the topping. Just mix this all up. This is super easy. This is a really great beginner recipe. If you've got kids in the kitchen, this is a really great way to get them excited about cooking dinner. Not only is it a pantry meal and they can pull almost everything off the pantry shelf. A well-stocked pantry generally has all the things in it that you know that you use, that you like, and that your family will eat on a regular basis. This has a box of macaroni and cheese, obviously, and all of the ingredients that we, except for the cheese, came out of the pantry or the cabinet. And then I used a little bit of butter and a little bit of milk in preparing the macaroni and cheese. But honestly, if you didn't have that, you could get away with not using it. Now all we have to do is pour this into a baking dish. This recipe is easily doubled also, because you can make this in a 9x13 pan if you like. You can also do what I do for my dad. I make this in a double batch, and I put it in little foil pans and I freeze it. And that way all he has to do is pop this in the oven frozen and he can have a fresh meal. My mom's tuna casserole. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle the rest of this cheese. Just sprinkle it evenly on top. Now it's not a ton of the cheese. There's just enough cheese to say there's a little bit of cheese on the top. And then get your potato chips. And there's no skimping on these, okay? Like I said, if you have a bag of chips that's like down to the crummy part, this is a really great way to use them up, especially if they've gone a little bit stale. You know how you get down to the bottom of that bag of chips and it has that little bit of staleness to it. Once these go into the oven, they're not going to be stale anymore. They're going to crisp up and be delicious. My oven is preheated at 350 degrees. We're going to bake this for 25 to 30 minutes until it is bubbly and golden brown on top. Then we're going to bring it out and we're going to show you what it looks like. Our tuna casserole baked for approximately 25 minutes. I just like to monitor it. I don't like the chips to get too brown, and I like to hear it bubbling. So that's about how long it took, 25 minutes. We're going to be serving this with our favorite side dish to go along with tuna casserole, which is 1 can of green beans and 1 can of stewed tomatoes mixed together and heated up. It's just the perfect accompaniment. It really does lend itself to, it's a little bit of acidic, and then it lends itself to the creaminess and the cheesiness of the casserole. So let's serve up some of this so you can see what it looks like. And then I'm going to give you a cost breakdown on this, because really a little bit of this goes a long, long way. It's very satisfying. I'm going to say that this casserole is going to easily serve 6 people. I used all store brand ingredients in this casserole, right down to the potato chips. So I wanted to just give you a breakdown on this. Like I said, I used all Walmart ingredients, everything from the macaroni and cheese to the mushroom soup, the cheese, the potato chips, the canned mushrooms. Everything that went in here was a store brand, and it's delicious. The whole casserole costs $7.35 to make. If you feed 6 people with this, the cost breaks down to $1.22 per serving, and that ain't too bad in my book. The side dish is 1 can of stewed tomatoes and 1 can of green beans. That is $1.17 for that whole bowl. That is a delicious pantry recipe that's straight from my mom's recipe box. It's the one I grew up with, the one that I really enjoy. I love my other tuna casserole recipe, which is a little more detailed, a little more expensive to make, but still budget friendly and still a really great pantry recipe also. I'll leave a link down below if you want to check out that one. That's my classic tuna noodle casserole. It makes a bigger casserole. I like this one a lot because, you know, Rick and I are almost empty nesters. My girls aren't home that often anymore. Micah's already working in the hospital as a nurse, and Molly is off doing what she does. So they're not often home for dinner anymore, and they're often doing their own things. So I'm kind of trying to downsize. But even so, this makes great leftovers. It can be reheated quite easily in the oven or in the microwave or however you choose. Do you want to try it?
I have to.
He already knows what this tastes like. But we'll go ahead and have him try it for you. What do you think?
Oh, it's really good. The chips really come through.
See? Even if the chips are a little stale, which these were, they're perfect for this recipe.
But not overpowering.
Right. So that's how you make my mom's tuna casserole circa 1975. I hope you give this a try, and I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.